So much love and appreciation to those of you who have been with me for the 2 year period plus that I've been doing this. Thank you for showing your love and support to the channel. And to anybody else who is brand new to the platform and you would like to support the channel, also, you can do it by way of Patreon, Anchor, the clothing store, and also the shoe shop that is listed in the comment description below. And again, thank you to any and all of you guys who have been here to support this channel during the 2+ year period. I wouldn't be able to do what I do every single day without you. Luki, who went missing after a British Broadcasting African Eye documentary exposed his activities, was arrested in the neighboring country of Zambia. Malawian authorities confirmed. Luki sparked outrage in Malawi after the documentary revealed that he had paid local children to perform in his videos, which he sold for up to $70 on Chinese social media. He reportedly made 380 videos a day, earning approximately 77 million in Malawian money or $75,300. In one of his alleged videos, children in matching shirts are seen chanting the phrase such as "I am a black monster" and "My IQ is low" in Chinese. One child alleged that Luki, whom they referred to as Susu, would harm them if they didn't obey his orders. Luki admitted that he made the videos in question before immediately backpedaling. He argued that he was making videos to spread Chinese culture to the local community. The ensuing outrage triggered calls for Malawian authorities to track down Chinese nationals residing illegally in the country. Sylvester Namiwa, executive director of the Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiatives, or CDEDI, a non-government organization, stated that the move would, quote, verify, if needed, what they are doing in the country is tallying with purpose of their coming into the country. Malawian police launched an investigation into Luki's activities last week, but they were unable to find him. On Monday, Department of Immigration and Citizenship Services spokesperson confirmed that he was arrested in Zambian town of Chapata. The Chinese embassy in Malawi responded to the controversy by stating that it condemns racism in any form by anyone or happening anywhere. The consulate added further that they will work closely with the Malawi side and see it that this unfortunate issue be properly addressed. Meanwhile, Malawi's Ministry of Foreign Affairs stated that it would engage its Chinese counterparts. Malawi and China established diplomatic relations back in 2008. Quote, "We are trying to manage whatever aspects of this that involves us working with the Chinese government. For the rest of the other aspects, those are internal issues that are being handled by internal state organs." Malawi is expected to seek Luki's extradition. Quote, "We want him to stand trial in Malawi." To all of those who are freshly or who have been in America for a little bit of time and they always want to open their mouths and start talking about Black Americans and what it is that we should and shouldn't be doing and how it is that we're ungrateful and different things of that nature. I want to know, what specifically are y'all doing here, right? That is going to specifically help your people back home, because all I'm seeing is that a lot of people are running. I see that Africa is, in a sense, at this moment in time, becoming, as I called it, Neo-Africa, right? Which is New Africa, because this is the second coming or the second colonization of Africa. First, it was by the Europeans, and then the second wave came in by the Chinese. And these are facts, because if you look at the governments, if you look at a lot of the land and stuff, it's getting sold to the highest bidder. You've been having an influx of, Chinese or Asian peoples directly over to Africa for a very, very, very long time, and it's been allowed to take place. Now, the interesting thing is this. You're going to have some people that's going to say that, oh, well, you can't say this is, all one group and da 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 and da da. Okay, well, let's take it back to some of the videos that I did before, right? During the pandemic, where you had Africans, right, who basically did the same thing, but they went over to China and they decided that they would be better suited there. They could easily make a living there. There's a nice population of them there as well. And they're going to call that, in a sense, their second home, right? And pretty much a little bit things were going a little bit fine. And then the pandemic hit. And what ended up happening was that the people over in China directly stated that the contributing factor of the resurgence of the pandemic, or right, the first surgence of the pandemic to take place, was by way of the African people there, which is completely false. It's not their fault. They didn't have anything to do with that at all. That was them trying to shift the blame onto another group of people instead of looking at the surrounding areas and the things that could have caused a potentiality of a resurgence, right? Or a potential cause, right, for the pandemic to have taken place there, right? So when that was taking place, you had Chinese officers, right? You had Chinese citizens wanting to, in a sense, affect the Africans in a negative way. So whatever housing they had, they were directly kicked out, even though some of them might have paid their rent on time or paid it ahead of time. They didn't get any type of reimbursement. They were thrown directly on the street. They were made to be deported. They were disrespected. They were belittled. They were devalued. They were called all types of slurs, right? And this was by the people that are there in that country, right? And these are the same people who, quote unquote, try to make it seem as though that there is nothing wrong there, that a lot of the things that happen in the United States don't happen over there, when realistically it does happen. They just choose not to highlight it. That's the problem. And if you don't believe a lot of this racism, bigotry, and discrimination goes over and happens in China, you might want to look at a lot of stories that take place on Chinese platforms, read some of the comments, right? Translate those, and especially if they deal with somebody black, go look at those comments. Go look at the comments if you see a black man with a Chinese woman. Go look at those comments. Go look at the comments that they state about black basketball players. And I've also done a video directly on that with a black basketball player getting directly off of a bus in China, and they wanted to yell racial slurs. So let's not try to play games and act like there is not racism, bigotry, and discrimination in a lot of these Asian countries, right? And a lot of this is learned behavior by way of the Europeans. Because before the Europeans, pretty much everything was completely fine and dandy. Because if you don't believe me, go back and historically look at the complexion and the color of a lot of these Asian countries, aka Seoul, Korea, right? Just like what they used to call, Inkster in Michigan, Inkster, aka ink. What is ink? Black, right? So what is normally referred to as Seoul? Black, correct? So like I said before, go look at, right, the populations in a lot of these Asian countries. Go look back at the 40s, the 30s, and so on and so on, and you'll start to see some very high melanin, in those countries. And then you have to ask yourself, I wonder what happened. If all of these people are melanated, then what are we looking at this moment in time? Well, I don't know. Well, look at the Native Americans, right? At one point in time, the Native Americans pretty much used to look like us, and now the Native Americans here don't look like anything that you could even compare to or even call a Native American. Is actually at the point in time where Biden has elected somebody that stated that they are Native American. My whole point through my whole rant here, because I'm pretty sure I went off the rails, is that you have a lot of people that need to, quote unquote, check themselves. The Africans, y'all need to sit up there and start, looking back home. Y'all need to start checking a lot of the individuals that are just now coming over there that seem to be taking over your people and your land. And I have a better question. How is it possible that y'all allow other individuals to basically do these things with your children? They can pay them, they can make them say certain things, they can potentially threaten their lives and all these other types of things. How is it possible that you guys allow these things to happen? That's all I'm sitting up there saying. And to the Asian community, the main community here in America that always wants to speak out whenever something happens to them and they state that they're for all people, then if you are for all people, right? The same way that black people have always been for all people. Like I said, regardless of however people want to feel at this point in time, black people have always around the world been the most welcoming people, no matter what happens to them, versus any other culture on this planet, bar none. There is no comparison. Can't nobody compare. Can't nobody raise their hand and say that they are more welcoming than black people, because it is false. It is a lie. Historically, black people have proved this time and time again, no matter how they sit up there and get treated by any other group of people. So, to the Asian population that is clearly here in America, what's happening? You guys tend to wonder and want to state that, oh, there's a lot of stuff that's going on here that needs to be fixed in America, and look at what the black community is doing. Well, the main thing that I want to, let you know is that there is a such thing as karma, correct? And the many things that have gone on in the past, right, will basically come into the future because you have those of you who decide that you're going to act a certain type of way against a group of people, and you think that you're not going to have anybody to answer to. Well, karma is directly right there, and she is keeping a tally and notes of every single thing historically that you have done and enabled and had your hand directly in. So if any point in time that there is anything going on, you might want to go back and check in history to see what your people may or may not have done, or who have had a hand in doing certain things to black people. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that things are 100% correct. I'm not saying that things are 100% right of what is happening at this moment in time. But what I am telling people is that there is a such thing as karma, and people need to keep tallies of the things that their people have been doing historically to black people. So before you decide that you want to open your mouth and state that, oh, looky here, what somebody black sat up there and did to such and such community, you might want to open your mouth, or better yet, close your mouth, open up a book, and start checking historically to see what your people have done to black people. That's all I'm saying. Everybody has their turn on the wheel. Everybody has their turn. Black people have had the longest turn on the wheel, so maybe it's time for somebody else to take a turn. But it seems that when it's time for other people to take a turn, people want to magically opt out as if they have a choice. And that's not how it works. Like I said, if black people had to suffer through and go through a type of karma because we obviously did something, right, way, way, way back when, that we just should not have done, right? And we were made to basically suffer and go through certain trials and tribulations, right? We were meant to, be slaves and different things of that nature, as into payback, for what it is that we done, what it is that we brought on ourselves. Then that means that everybody else, right, who has done something out here should have to pay the exact same cost, if not more. So all I'm sitting up there telling you is that black people never got a chance to opt out of receiving any type of karma. So therefore, nobody else is going to have a chance to opt out. And if you decide that you want to opt out and you decide that you want to try and run from it, it's going to catch up to you. So you can either laugh now, or you can decide to run and cry later.